Welcome to the Awaken Beauty podcast. I am Cassandra, your organic beauty, positive mind management, and clinical hypnotherapist. And today we're welcoming back a huge energetic welcome to Tom Palladino. And today we're talking about the no-brainer way to beam you with happy neurotransmitters through scalar energy. Now, we're going to go a little bit deeper today on what scalar light energy is and how it can help you assemble endorphins and neurotransmitters inside the human body to improve human physical and emotional health. And I'm talking happy people. So I want you to make sure that you're going to listen to the first and the second episode that we did with Tom. And the first one was about what is scalar energy. The second one was on hormones and scalar energy. And so there's no better time than now than energetic medicine, and scalar energy is just that. So welcome back to the podcast, Tom. Thank you for joining us again.
A pleasure. Hi.
Hello,
and
hello.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year. We were just exchanging how you so blissfully get to go to the Caribbean, and I am just shuffling around in absolute icicles and sleet and snow on the day. So I'm happy for you. So we're talking energy today. And so maybe we want to just do a brief, if somebody didn't get to listen to our first two episodes together, on scalar energy. And you know, I understand it as, you know, the very life form that comes from the sun and the stars, and what most people would maybe equivalent to prana or chi and life energy, and what creates order out of chaos. What would you add to that, Tom?
Yeah, I think that's very articulate of you, so well spoken. And I would agree, there is an energy that pervades the universe that really is the first principle of all action. And I would say that is scalar light, or chi or prana, as you have cited.
Mm-hmm.
It's not electricity. It's a different type of energy. And it's the energy that powers the stars. If you've ever wondered why the stars can give off so much light, that's not electricity. That's life force energy. That's scalar light. So when you look at the stars, that's a very fine example of scalar energy in motion, so to speak. The stars are scalar light celestial bodies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty remarkable. And so you have these different programs, and we've talked about the different programs that you do. I graciously have been on them, and I thank you for that. You're very, very generous. And everybody here at the end of the episode, again, will get another chance to go onto the hormone profile program. But we've talked about the pathogenic cleanse. We've talked about the nutrient program that you offer, as well as how scalar energy can help balance and break through blockages in our chakra system, which really basically is the 7 different energetic systems within our biofield. And so today we want to talk about and stretch into, you know, when I think about neurotransmitters, I think it's one part confusing and overwhelming, and the other part of that is it's really encouraging, because if we can balance our neurotransmitters, there's so much more enjoy it to our life. You know, there's so much more happiness to our life when we have a happy balance of these neurotransmitters. And so I kind of want to open up the conversation of, you know, kind of what I see as an epidemic going on today with neurotransmitters is that, you know, dopamine, for instance, you know, it's this quick hit. And if we think about people's addictions to their phone and the Facebook and the dings and everything that we're constantly getting hit on, it just brings us back to all of these quick hits that we get that really takes us out of balance. And so we lose the balance of the oxytocin, the dopamine, the serotonin, the endorphins, and we're in this really fast-paced world that we're really out of balance. So I think scalar energy is such a beautiful way that we can energetically work on the biofield of those neurotransmitters in a healthy way and to feel supported through scalar. So maybe you could open up and just tell us a little bit about our neurotransmitters and how this energy helps balance them.
Sure. So with scalar energy, I actually have instruments that control scalar light, scalar energy. And with these instruments, we can actually assemble neurotransmitters in the body, such as dopamine that you've cited. dopamine plays a crucial role in our reward system, and many people who have a lack or a deficiency of dopamine, that's been linked to Parkinson's disease and even schizophrenia and other types of depression. So how can we remedy those situations? How can we at least provide some palliative measure? Well, again, with these instruments that I've invented and perfected, we're able to take scalar light, and as this instructive energy, we can assemble dopamine inside the body. So we offer a program that we call neurotransmitters and endorphins. And this program, as the name states, it allows us to assemble inside the human body neurotransmitters and endorphins. And the upshot is this, that people feel better. It does produce a sense of euphoria, a sense of well-being. And we also see with many people that this program of neurotransmitters and endorphins also serves to improve mental clarity.
Mm-hmm.
It will also serve to improve sometimes libido and your strength, and even give you a greater surge of energy. So to review, we're working with instruments, scalar light instruments, and these instruments have the ability to actually form the molecular forms of dopamine, serotonin, acetylcholine inside the body. And the only way you can do that is by working with these advanced instruments that control this scalar energy dimension. Now, we've worked with people around the world, and the results are really stellar. People from around the world are saying that the neurotransmitter endorphin program has served to improve specifically their physical health, but it also has physiological implications. So very happy after a year and a half of working with people around the world with this program, neurotransmitters and endorphins. I say we're onto something gigantic here, and this will be one of the tools that we use in the future for psychological health.
Yeah, I think that's really incredible. And, I've been in the world of the endocannabinoid system just with all the rage with CBD and this whole new market, and just the endorphins and how our body is in its own endocannabinoid system has input on this too. So I think about just your input of scalar energy helping, I think of it kind of like the trickle down effect. So if we can balance serotonin, oxytocin, dopamine, these all have an intricate play with all of our other neurotransmitters and hormones. So like to your point, yes, feeling happy, but energy. Many people are too tired as far as even, having sexuality a part of their lifestyle. So oxytocin, I think, is noted as going to be one of the most popular, coming out neurotransmitters, just because it is so missed, and we don't express oxytocin unless we actually have true one-to-one rapport with someone that's affectionate and really truly loving. And so a lot of people suffer in this area, Tom, of just neurotransmitters and finding healthy ways to be exposed to them and also express them. And we live in a very isolated world, so I think that through scalar energy, if someone can tap into your program and get that, if they don't have those outputs, massage or affection with someone, this is a really lifeline for some people.
I concur with that, and I like where you're going with that. And this has been proven. Those people who have a relationship, and especially a romantic relationship, we see an increase in neurotransmitters and endorphins in their body. And the release of these endorphins, just by some people by cuddling, by holding hands, you have a release, and you have this pleasure syndrome with these endorphins. So it really is a biochemical reaction, romance. But aside from that, it's imperative that we have these neurotransmitters and these endorphins in our body. If you take, for instance, serotonin. Serotonin is one of the happy chemicals, one of the pleasure chemicals, a neurotransmitter. And 90% of or 80% at least of our serotonin is produced in our intestines.
Right.
So that also draws reference to our gut microbiome. So these are not just chemicals in our brain. No, they're throughout our body. And in the case, once again, of serotonin, well, it again, most of it originates from our intestines, our gut, and it has a significant interface with our appetite, our sleep, our memory, etc. So important. I even have family members who have put their children on these endorphin and neurotransmitter program, and they say that this has enhanced their academic performance. Why? Because some kids have a trouble concentrating on a topic. They're just not balanced. So I predict that in the future, this new modality, this scalar light modality, will be embraced from people around the world. Scalar light is a technology that's going to change the world, and it is presently changing the medical landscape.
Yeah, I really love where you went with that. I mean, they are made in the microbiome, and we think that we're in control of how we produce these, but our microbiome is in control of us. I mean, over
Right.
40 trillion microbiota in your stomach is
Yes.
producing your neurotransmitters and
Yes.
also your hormones, and so gut health, that's really, really brilliant of you to bring that up, because we always think it's all manufactured in the brain, but
Yeah.
it's certainly the gut brain, and there you have it, the gut. So I really love where you took that. So when somebody gets on this program, you kind of notated that they feel happy. You have thousands of reviews on your website, which is absolutely amazing to read these reviews. Are there any that come to mind for you specifically within the neurotransmitter kind of arena that stick out to you?
I've had many people who've placed their parents on the endorphin neurotransmitter program, because some of our parents are suffering from dementia, Parkinson's,
Right.
etc. And I've had many favorable reports that the endorphin neurotransmitter program has enhanced the memory of people who have Alzheimer's or Parkinson's. I myself, my late mother-in-law, we placed her on endorphins and neurotransmitters, and we believe that this really enhanced her quality of life. She had Parkinson's for the last 15 years of her life, but she never had the full-blown symptoms of Parkinson's disease, and
Wow.
in part because we were treating her on a daily basis with endorphins and neurotransmitters. So what the body is lacking, we can make up with, so to speak, by creating endorphins and neurotransmitters. And this has enhanced the lifestyle of many people who are suffering through, again, Parkinson's, late stage Lyme disease, schizophrenia, Alzheimer's, dementia. So it's the simple, painless, non-invasive way to assemble these micronutrients in the body, in this case, endorphins and neurotransmitters. And we're seeing incredible results with many people. Some of them their health has been compromised by way of this neurological impairment, Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, and we see a greater quality of life. So we have enhanced their lifestyle. They have a greater quality of life, whereas without this program, again, you're going to be at the mercy of Alzheimer's and Parkinson's.
I think that's amazing. I mean, talk about an epidemic that you can really touch and transform. And the pharmaceutical world has failed us, and the supplement world is incredibly overwhelming to individuals. And frankly, they don't have the money to keep spilling out, guessing check, will this work for me? And you can get all the genetic testing done that you want, but when I think about where we're going with medicine and what you're speaking about today, is it comes back to the biofield or energetic health. Because if we can affect the energetic part of our body, our mind, body, and spirit, it is that, and in what you're saying, and I'm connecting dots as I speak, is that it enhances their life. And because energy is before the physical, meaning energetic input is going to be affect the body and help the body before it becomes a physical ailment. So when you put people on Scalar Energy, you literally have them on this 24 hours a day. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's correct. And so to speak to that point, so you're always under the influence of these endorphins and neurotransmitters. And that's what's so important, because during our sleep cycle, there are variations as to how many hormones we're going to produce, how many neurotransmitters we're going to produce. The
Right.
fact that we treat people 24 hours a day assures the constant delivery of endorphins and neurotransmitters that the body requires. And that is, again, that is so important, because then the body can achieve homeostasis. Then
Hmm.
finally, the body is no longer at this point of deficiency anytime during the day. So it's around the clock session, it's around the clock treatment. It is 24 hours a day. And indeed, that does abet human and the mental and physical health of people.
Yeah, it's really wonderful. Now, on another note, I've seen a lot on your site and really incredible world reviews of the work that you've done with the millions of people in Africa. And I want
Yes.
to bring up this subject of HIV, because it has been one that has kind of, I feel like these people have left behind. And you're doing such remarkable work in Africa. Can you share a little bit about the millions of people that you have
Yes.
helped that have just been left behind?
Sure. Well, I'm working with people throughout Africa. In particular, today I was on the phone with a government official from Africa.
Wow.
And the government has decided upon a policy in which they are going to photograph people, crowds of people, in order to be treated with scalar energy. Now, many of these people are suffering from cholera, tuberculosis, malaria, etc. So there are people throughout Africa that are now submitting to us photographs of thousands of people who need various types of healing, anything from hepatitis infection to, again, to malaria, to different types of skin infections, etc., even HIV. So our movement is growing, and it's growing leaps and bounds because it works. In other words, scalar light as a emerging science, we now have identified that this energy can easily break apart a germ, a virus, or a bacterium. So the people of Africa now see the merit of these sessions, the pathogenic cleanse, as we call it, because with a person's photograph, we can target that person by way of this scalar energy instrument, and we can send the necessary intelligence into their body to break down parasites, fungi, bacteria in their body. And this is very important because many people in Africa, they don't have means to a clinic. Many people in Africa are sick, and they simply need a remedy. There is really a poor healthcare system in many parts of Africa. So again, to speak to the point, I was on the phone today with a government official in Africa, and his government is going to submit thousands of photographs to us of millions of people. Now,
Wow.
let me put that into context. In order to treat somebody effectively with scalar energy, all you need is their photograph. It could be the photograph of one person, the group photograph of 1,000 people, or a group photograph, say, taken in a soccer stadium. All we need to do in order to treat somebody successfully with scalar light is to have a photograph of their skin, some part of their human body.
Hmm.
So keep in mind what I'm saying. This government official is all on board today, and this government official will commission people throughout the country, I won't say what country, throughout the country, to take thousands of photographs of millions of people in Africa and submit those photographs to us. And essentially, we're going to be curing millions of people.
Wow. So I'd like to ask you, how did that relationship form for you?
By word of mouth, and by the fact that people now understand what we can do. They've visited our website, they've seen the diagnostic test, they realize that there is merit here. And by the proof in the pudding, by these diagnostic tests that we offer to the general public as proof, as evidence of our good work and our success, the word is getting out. So I have people throughout Africa working with us. I have clinic in Delhi, India that's working with us. We have various clinics around the world now
Mm-hmm.
that are working with us. The word is out. People
Mm-hmm.
realize that we can destroy germs, we can cure pathogenic disease. And with that, the sky's the limit. That this should really continue to unfold and eventually spread like wildfire.
Well, you're an entrepreneur and I'm an entrepreneur, and I really love efficiency. And I don't think you could be any more efficient than getting thousands of photographs of individuals
Yes,
and
yes,
light
yes.
beam healing energy to them. I mean, it's just so transformational. And I
It is.
the thousands of testimonials on your website and the people of their country that have put those testimonials out there, it's the crowd that speaks, that the leaders listen.
Yes,
And
yes,
so it's
yes.
really,
You're right.
really incredible.
Yep. Yeah, and I commend you, Cassandra. You see the big picture here, and
Mm-hmm.
God bless you for your effort. There's nothing that can stop a photograph, so to speak. So
Yeah.
we are receiving photographs from around the world. We have treated millions of people around the world, and we are growing exponentially. So as this ministry continues into the new year here, we're going to see that we continue to grow at um, a hyper growth rate, so to speak. And eventually we will be treating the world. Eventually, I forecast we'll easily treat 1 billion people a year. Because keep in mind, all we need is a photograph. So you can easily photograph 1 billion people. And
Mm-hmm.
hence, if I have those photographs in my laboratory, then I can treat 1 billion people. So mark my word, the day is coming that we will treat and cure 1 billion people a year.
Yeah, that's incredible. Now, are you going to have to expand your space to be able to do that?
No, no. See, that's the
Okay.
beauty of a scalar instrument. A scalar instrument is self-contained.
Right.
A scalar instrument can easily treat 10 million people a day.
Yep.
So it's not as if I have to expand my laboratory. All I need is one laboratory. What I will need are thousands of people around the world taking photographs.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing that's holding us back right now is awareness.
Yep. Absolutely. And so I just want to kind of review, for people, I do biofeedback. And when I take in people's readings, very much their neurotransmitters are coming up on that biofeedback. And so I just want to assure people that there's usually 1 or 2 imbalances, and I only pull in 5 of these different neurotransmitters. And so what we can really kind of get brass tacks on what Tom is talking about and what he can help is dopamine is your feel-good hormone. Your serotonin helps you regulate your mood as well as your sleep, your appetite, your digestion. Oxytocin is called the love hormone, and it is essential for childbirth, breastfeeding, parent-child bonding, and relationship with cuddling, all of that relationship as well. And endorphins, they're great pain reliever. We always think of them as it gets us up and gets us on our run, but it's a great pain reliever. The body releases these to relieve pain. And glutamate and GABA. Now, I know I take GABA every night through nutraceuticals, but glutamate and GABA is this push and pull system, and GABA helps the mind calm down. And so all of these neurotransmitters are just a short list of what Tom has in his program. And you can go to his website where he has a list of 17 of them, which also includes the hormones and different amino acids. And so this isn't just, I'm going to kind of pop you over a short list. He's really looking at the encompassed whole system
Yes.
of how these work together. It's not an aim and shoot and hope and pray that it works. It's really a thought process of how this is assembled together and how the body works. Is that correct, Tom?
Yes, yes, it is. I often compare it to a symphony. If
Mm-hmm.
you want to hear a rich, bold sound, go to a symphony, as opposed to a solo performance of, say, a pianist or a violinist. So what's
Yeah.
my point? When you put all of these components together, in this case, different endorphins and neurotransmitters, you're going to have an incredible effect. I call that the symphony of health, as opposed to just taking a pill that only addresses one natural chemical. So with that in mind, when we are working with Scalar, I've always made it a point to work in this synchronistic style, if you will. in which is just, I don't isolate on one natural chemicals. I try and incorporate a multitude, a myriad of natural chemicals, because it's how all of these interplay, how all of these interface. That really is the crucial point of health, and that is the point of homeostasis. That is how, that is in particular, treating people for a number of neurotransmitters and endorphins. That's how we achieve the proper health, as opposed to just taking one drug at a time.
Right.
It doesn't work that way.
Right. One drug, one supplement, you name it. And to go back to that, I'm just going to really brief again too on energetic and energy on the biofield. And what Tom's doing with Scalar Light is that when you take a vitamin C supplement, or when you take a pharmaceutical, the body is reading the energetics, the frequency of that piece. And so there's cause and effect when we're taking nutraceuticals and pharmaceuticals, where this is a completely non-invasive. There are no side effects and 100% safe. And so a lot of people get really nervous because so many people are on pharmaceuticals, of how it's going to, one, they don't want to go to their doctor and say, I'm trying something different. And quite frankly, this is out there, but we're bringing it to the masses, and it is going to be believed because it is truth. But they're just fearful. So to you, thank you for offering such a safe, non-invasive solution for millions.
Yeah, that's a good point. What's a man-made drug? It's man-made. It's foreign. And the body doesn't necessarily recognize this. Everything that I work with are products of nature. I do not work with drugs. I do not work with man-made products.
Mm-hmm.
So with that in mind, I'm working in harmony with the body. And instead of trying to use a synthetic or some type of drug to induce a hormonal response or a response of neurotransmitters, why not just use the real McCoy? Why not just use a female hormone? Why not just use a neurotransmitter? And that's what we're doing. Okay, so there's no substitute for the truth. There's no substitute for the real McCoy, which is the natural chemical that the body is fond of, friendly to.
I think I need to retitle it The Real McCoy. That's good. I love it. Well, Tom, I just really want to thank you for your time today. And I want to also remind the women of the impact of neurotransmitters on our beauty, because, when the body is in a bliss state and it's in a happy place and it's balanced, you really have to even stretch up to how does that affect your skin and your hair? And it certainly does. When your body is stressed and there's inflammation, there's cytokines being shot out, which causes acne, which causes, thinning hair, all of those things. I mean, that's the void of hormones is aging. So this is literally what Tom is talking about here, is the neurotransmitters, the symphony of hormones, and how it affects mind, body, and beauty as well. So that's pretty awesome. So Tom, we are going to give an offer to our listeners to the Awaken Beauty podcast again on the hormone program. Do you want to maybe just brief on what that is for these lovely listeners and what they're being offered?
Sure. The ladies who are listening, Cassandra has a link. We are able to assemble female hormones inside the body. Now, remember, when we're working with Scalar, we work with you by way of your photograph. You don't have to do anything except submit a photograph of yourself, and we will treat you around the clock 24 hours a day. So you will have your necessary dosage, so to speak, of pregnenolone, progesterone, estrogen, etc. Many women feel the benefits of this female hormone program because it makes up for the deficiency that so many women suffer. What do we see as the result? Well, a reduction in night sweats and hot flashes, greater sense of peace and equanimity, no longer the mood swings per se with hormonal deficiency. Some women say their mental clarity has improved. Others say that if they're still menstruating, this gives them a more normal menstrual cycle. So there's so many benefits to be derived from the female hormone therapy.
It's wonderful. Thank you. And where can they find you, Tom?
Sure. Our website is scalarlight.com. If you have any questions, you can call us, area code 805-364-3051.
Wonderful. And I also do want to note you will be getting the hormone program for free. Thank you, Tom, sending in your photo to him and his team. And he will also offer you a free trial for the endorphin and neurotransmitter program, but you will need to actually email his team, and his email is on the website to be included in that program. So you kind of get a double today, but you will have to notify him if you want to get on the neurotransmitter program. So Tom, thank you again. I'm so thankful for the word and the light and the healing that you are emitting to the world. And thank you for allowing me to share your information today on the Awaken Beauty podcast.
I resonate with your professionalism. It's a pleasure to work with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So we will probably have Tom on again, but until next time, everybody, thank you for listening to the Awaken Beauty podcast. You know where to find us on iTunes or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Make sure you give a 5-star, a like, what you pulled from this podcast episode with Tom Palladino on neurotransmitters. And until next time, stay sane, get sleep, and bring your sexy back. And now you can with Tom's neurotransmitters. All right. Bye-bye.